Good afternoon. I know I am delayed for the drive. 30 minutes. My apologies. I thought I couldn't decide between 1 o'clock and 1:30, and I thought I rescheduled to 1:30. So yeah, then I went to go make kids lunch so that I would not be interrupted in that way. But in any case, here I am. And make sure my phone is down. And yeah, I had to answer the phone a couple of times. So that's life. I will wait a few minutes and see if I get anybody to chat with today. I'm gonna have one person watching. Hello, how are you? Looking outside, it started to sprinkle, and I called the kids in. So I can see my screen. I had anticipated um, a little bit of delay, but not that much. You guys know real life happens. So we plan, but things don't always go as planned. I actually wanted to take some notes on some things I wanted to talk about. I just did not have time. Again, we planned, but yeah, things don't always go as planned. But I still have ideas in my head. In any case, I hope everybody's doing well. I hope the week went well. I hope the week is starting well. I hope everybody's in good health. We are doing a lot better than we were last week. Turn the volume down. I'm gonna have to check. just to make sure this is actually live. Slight cough, lingering, but not as bad as last week. What's up with this signal? Hmm. A bunch of messages. I have not picked up my phone all day except for those phone calls. No time. All right. So far, so good. One second. I'll wait a few more minutes before I actually get into what I wanted to talk about. I know going from having sinus issues to rain, not a good combination because it's messing with allergies and yeah, not something I wanted to be dealing with. But I know spring is right around the corner and we're already feeling it. So we expect allergies and issues to flare up. Mm. All right, so go ahead and get started, and hopefully, those that join in will go back and watch this chat via video. That way they can kind of catch up on what was missed. But what I wanted to talk about is homeschool teacher mom flexibility, or mom teacher flexibility. I want, you all will comment when you watch this video what you think that means. Do you think you are flexible? Um, any examples of being flexible between being a mom and being a homeschool teacher? I know people tend to put them in the same category, being a homeschool mom and being a homeschool teacher. There's actually a difference. So I think um, there's a time to be mom, there's a time to be teacher. And if you mix the two, you tend to end up with the battle of wills. And the child can discern that because automatically they are going to direct your attention to being mom versus teacher. A lot of the times, the struggles that I hear about, and a lot of times people will even say it, I'm mom first or I'm homeschool mom, and I just kind of had to shake my head because once you see yourself, you put yourself in that position, that's how you react to what's going on at that time. You step out of the teacher role. I know as mothers, we wear many hats. And so we have to naturally learn how to be flexible. When you are in school, you need to become teacher. Teachers do not do the jobs of mothers. Okay, there is a fine line of what you can define as discipline in the classroom. Okay, teachers are not disciplining children. So, if that is something that you find yourself doing, you set yourself up to step out of that role in the classroom and become mom. It kind of takes away the quality of the teaching. Not saying that mom is not the best teacher. Of course you are, but there's a time and a place to model each role. That's the same as being mom. If you are mom, you are not teaching directly. If you are a teacher, you're not cooking. Okay? Teachers don't cook. You can teach a class, you can teach your child, as a form of life skills and economics. But what I'm saying is, you're not teaching and then going in the kitchen cooking at the same time. You can't do that. You have to pick one role or the other. And yes, it is tough because we are at home in that environment where we can be lax and we do have that flexibility, but it also takes you out of your zone as a teacher for what you're supposed to be doing. It's really easily to fall into that crack. The same with running errands. Teachers run errands at lunchtime, and they have a certain time to do it. As a mom, you still may have a certain time to do it, but you know you have a little bit of flexibility in the day because you're at home. You may want to run out and do errands, and in that case, you're going to rush the kids through school or put it off until you get back and then start school. It takes away the quality. And then it also lets that child see you are in mom mode for that day. So even though you say we're going to start school after we get back, or we're only going to do school for this amount of time, the child is more excited to spend time with mom that day. So that child is not going to put out quality work. There's your power struggle. When I set out for school, the interruptions are very minimal. You guys know I keep the volume down on the phone. If I have time to check when I wake up, I check caller ID. So I know who's calling. If I know that I need to answer the phone, then I will answer it and interrupt, whatever school we're doing. But it has to be really important. If I'm not sure, I won't answer. I will let it go straight to voicemail. And if I know it's urgent, they'll call right back. Other than that, I am not being interrupted by the phone. I'm not being interrupted by the door. Um, if I don't have to be, sometimes it's just that's the way it is. You cannot control everything. We're not being interrupted by having to run errands. School for us is pretty much 9 to 3. We don't do anything during that time. Even when I have appointments or meetings, because I've talked about that, we have a lot of in-home things going on where people are coming in and out. They respect our time. They always ask. They know we're at home, but they ask, are you sure it's okay for us to come during this time? We'll keep it to a minimum, and things like that. So they're willing to work with me and respect that time. And I think you also should do the same thing. Set your errands, your appointments to workable times. Not just, we're at home, we're schooling, and we can schedule an appointment anytime. It doesn't work that way all the time because it's like I said, it's hard to bring kids back into the school mode if you're out and about. I know some people may, differ. That's just my view on it. But I do see that. I can tell just even if I'm watching just a couple of videos of somebody's maybe a day in a life, and the next day you can see how school has changed from one day to the next just by what they were doing the day before. Something else I wanted to talk about, um, being flexible. I think of how I really want to, how I really want to say it. And I'm listening to the kids. All right, so say you have your plan, your schedule. You keep a schedule, okay? A lot of people say, "Oh, I have to have a schedule. I have to have a schedule. If I don't have a schedule, everything will fall apart." Okay. So say you have your schedule, okay? Because we know there's schedule and there's routine. Your friend calls you one morning and asks if you want to get together. Do you tell your friend no because you have a schedule and it'll throw off your schedule, or not tell them directly it'll throw off the schedule, but do you tell them no, it's not a good idea? Do you tell them yes, or do you stop and think about it and think how drastically that time away will alter your schedule? 'Cause I know a lot. Somebody might be sitting here saying, "Oh no, I have to keep to my schedule. I have to, things will fall apart." Let me tell you something. No, it won't. Because guess what? When your phone rings, you answer your phone. There goes your schedule. Okay? You might not agree to that, but it's the truth. It happens all the time. Sometimes you just want to stop and talk. You have to stop and talk. And I'm not talking a personal call or a business call. I'm talking a personal call. It's okay to be flexible, but you stepped out of that teacher role and you're into that mom role that day. I have to use discernment when my phone rings. I don't automatically tell that person no, because sometimes spur of the moment play dates or getaways are essential. It just kind of breaks up the monotony. And ultimately, when you come back, you can pick up and do a little bit of what you had intended to do. That's fine to just say, I'm going to have that flexibility. Second, I think about my friend. Okay. If my friend is a good friend, my friend knows that we are homeschooling. My friend knows what that means, and my friend respects that. Okay. If my friend calls me, says, "Hey, let's hang out. Let's, bring the kids and do X, Y, Z." Like I said, she knows that I'm homeschooling. Whether she's a homeschooling mother or not, she knows that. So the question is more, did your friend call you to hang out? for another reason. Okay? If your friend interrupted you, your friend may know that you are not the type of homeschooler that you say you are. Okay? Oh, no problem. I really just got into this, but shalom. Thanks for joining me. Um, so yeah, your friend knows that you're not the type of homeschooler that keeps that schedule that you claim to. So she's used to interrupting you, okay? And you're used to picking up the phone, okay? No matter what you try to say, that's what happened there. That's a friend, okay? A true friend. Or think about that friend. If that friend stopped to interrupt you, we found someone's breast be off. Okay, tell her to not take it. Tell her. Okay, tell her not to. Can you? Thank you very much. Thank you. You threw it in the river. Uh, so yeah, that friend interrupted you. There had to be a reason why that friend interrupted your day, your morning, your afternoon, knowing that you homeschool. Okay, think about your friends. Think about your friend's situation. A lot of us are at home with the children all day. A lot of us do not have co-ops. A lot of us are living far away from family. A lot of us are living far away from friends. Okay, and so you may have just that one friend, and that friend called because she wanted to hang out, or that friend called because she wanted to talk. Stop and talk to that friend. I cannot tell you how many times I have stopped what I'm doing in the middle of the day, picked up the phone to call somebody, and it's just because I needed an ear. Okay, a lot of times things get so hectic during the day when you're dealing with kids, whether you're homeschooling or not, you just need that friend. Think about that. Don't automatically turn that friend down because the next day it could be you. A schedule can be altered. You're not going to fall apart because you don't keep to that schedule. Yes, be flexible. Step out of that teacher role and be a mom. You have to know the difference. Your friend wants to go out and you've already cooked or you have your dinner or lunch already prepped in the crock pot or what have you. Oh no, I can't go because I already have this. This is already scheduled and it's already planned. And I'm sorry. That's not being a friend to your friend. It's not a good example to your child either. Whatever you have cooked, you can save for the next meal. That will give you some more time because you already have the meal prepared. What I'm saying is, you have to have compassion as a homeschool mom and a friend. No matter how tight your schedule may be, anything, any little thing can alter that schedule. I don't keep a schedule. I'm a routine person. We do things throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month as a routine. Okay, this is end of the month. I altered the routine. I had to wash the girls' hair today. Normally, it's the first of the month and the middle of the month. And what happened was the style that they had ended up lasting. So I had more time, the middle of the month, not having to do hair. But here I am this morning. Actually, I started last night um, prepping hair to get washed. But I had to get it done today. And I also had to come here and chat with you all. That's a routine. If I had it scheduled, I would have had to schedule this even later. And even scheduling the chat with you all, I didn't make it on time. Before, I was like that before me, I put the friends first. hmm And yeah, that can happen. That can happen very easily. That can happen. Excuse me. Yeah, you have to know when it's okay. And like I said, a good friend will respect you as a homeschool teacher. She will respect you. She will understand that you have a responsibility. You're not just mom. And she won't bother you during that time. Sometimes, not very often, my sister will call me in the middle of the day on her way to work. And she'll ask me because sometimes she knows it's lunchtime. If I'm teaching the kids, my cousin will do the same thing. But it's lunchtime for them, and that's kind of when we have time to talk. And I will tell them, sometimes lunch is altered. The schedule, we don't have a schedule. Depending on what time the kids got up, they may eat lunch anytime between 12 and 2. So that's usually my time that I can stop, pick up the phone, and talk to somebody. Just the same as when I have somebody call me. I will say, call me, and they'll say, when can I call? Right now is okay. And they respect that. But yeah, you should not portray yourself as being mom and teacher on the same medium. And that may happen with your spouse, your partner. They may take advantage of you being at home and, oh, well, you're just mom. It's no big deal. You can do X, Y, Z, when actually that's not the case. It's not the case at all. He needs to respect the fact that you are teaching the children, and that is also a job, not just something that you're doing. It takes strength to be a homeschool teacher. It's not for the faint at heart at all. It's a lot of sweat, tears, and blood. Kind of the same thing as being a mom. But man, I kind of when I'm teacher. My kids will call me teacher. They won't call me mom. They will call me teacher. I don't know how many vlogs they have said it plenty of times. They will call me teacher because they know the difference. And when they watch other homeschool videos with me, the first thing they say is that their teacher, not is that their mom. Although this person may do homeschool videos and also vlogs, they can discern the difference and they know how to act. So I have that respect with my kids. They know, where I cross the line. Um, they know teacher discipline. They know mom discipline. Sometimes I may have to step out of that teacher role and become mom right mid lesson. Sometimes it happens that way. I don't like to because it sends that message to that child. And then the other kids, if they're in here, they're watching because they tend to think you're our mom, not our teacher. Okay. And that respect drops in the schoolroom. So, but they know, when I say it's school time, okay, you're the teacher. You're going to teach us this. I have to teach you this because this is what the law says. This is what we have to do. And because I'm a mom, I care about you. So they can distinguish the connection. Should I put? I think you should. I really think you should. It would make a bigger difference in the way you teach. Like I said, as a mom, we are the first teachers of our children. But if you are stepping back during the school day and defining yourself more as a teacher and you command that teacher respect, you get you get a better outcome. Because if kids come home with homework and they're crying, they don't want to do your homework, mom is going to say, one, if she's tired, go somewhere, leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered, don't do it. Okay, we'll do it later. Um, you'll make whatever excuse you can. If you're a teacher and you give that child work, you're going to do whatever you can to get that child to work. You can't tell that child, go away, go watch TV, leave me alone. You can't do that as a teacher. If the child is being unruly, disrupting the classroom, the teacher is going to send that child to the principal. So that's why I said there's no teachers don't discipline. There's no discipline in the classroom. They don't have time to spend disciplining children. Although I know some do try. Of course, they don't get away with it, but yeah, they cannot discipline children. Like I said, you have to define yourself being a teacher and being a mom, what those two roles mean to you. Um, just the same as when I'm doing anything, we change our hats all day. The child needs, if you have a sick child, you become a doctor. If you are doing hair, you become a beautician. You're cutting the boy's hair, same thing. You become a barber. Listen to my kids in the background. So, yeah, once you define that and what it means, then you can examine the flexibility in that. How flexible are you? Uh, don't let the kids see that right off. Don't flip flop back and forth. When you're a teacher, sit down and talk to the kids first and let them know you are the teacher. When we are doing school during this time to this time, okay, they should know they should have a set time, whether it's a schedule. I'm just saying schedule loosely, routine, okay? Have a certain time and be consistent with that time. That way they understand that this is going to happen on a recurring basis. Expect this during this time and this time. I have kids that did not deal with transition at all. And that's a lot I had to deal with early on because they were really young. And it probably started really from birth. But of course, you don't recognize those things until the kids can really start to express that verbally. But we did things pretty much, it wasn't a schedule, it was just very consistent and it was a routine. If we went somewhere, I would have to give one of the kids 45 minutes notice before we had to transition. Then it became 30 minutes. Then it became 10 minutes. Even though it may have been the same thing. Like if we were at gymnastics, they know they go on a certain day at a certain time, but I would have to gear them up to, okay, pretty soon your gymnastics class is going to end for the day. Some kids need that. Some kids can transition from place to place with no problem. Um, we may do that if we're out and about in a store. Okay, we're having fun at Target, looking at the things, and we may not have anything else planned, and the kids know that, but I still have to transition them because if I just say, "All right, come on, let's go," we're done looking, all heck can break loose. And I see it all the time in the store. I know everybody does. It's because that child did not transition. They're used to um, not having any defined limits. Yeah, same thing. I said with having a friend, your friend, if you have a good friend, your friend should know your limits. You should definitely know that there are times when you are okay to step out of your role as teacher and be mom. And who's to say it could be an outing to the park where you're still learning. The kids are still going to learn something. But that friend does not understand. They if they're not a homeschool parent, they don't understand that these two roles differ. They don't understand that you're going to neglect your duty as being a teacher, but you can actually be teacher, you can be mom, and you can be friend. Same as like I was saying, your husband, your partner, whatever. You're also a wife, but they should respect that you have a certain time. Flexibility has limits. Okay, you're only flexible to a certain degree. They cannot just expect you to stop what you're doing because they can't, I don't know, they can't find something or because they're sick. Because we know when men get sick, the world ends. They're just helpless. We could have a cold, the flu, pneumonia, bronchitis, all at the same time. And we still have to do all our jobs. Yeah, once you define yourself and get that limit, let the kids know that this is what is expected. This is how mom conducts things. This is how teacher conduct things. I think things will run a lot smoother. There won't be that much power struggle when getting the children to uh, do things. I'm not saying that every day is going to be smooth, everything is going to be roses. I know somebody said last week, I make it look easy. I've just defined those roles. It's not easy. I do have days when somebody will do one thing and, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't know. I probably have caught them during a vlog and you could hear them, I don't want to do it. And then that's because they think mom is standing in the room, not their teacher. They bring it back. A lot of times it's after I turn off the camera. Um, they'll realize what they did and come back. Or they have the other kids looking at them, and that holds them accountable to their actions. And I don't even have to do anything. Yeah, you don't want to power struggles. All of these things, not having that flexibility. I have a question. So your child should not learn how to deal with it. We is not able to learn birth name. No, that's not what I'm saying. At the same time, some kids are only kids and they're only children and they don't have anybody their age. So there is no, it's it may seem strange, but some kids just don't have friends outside of their house. They're not, they may live in a neighborhood where there are no children their age. In that case, the mom is doing what she can to teach that child how to deal with uh, same age children. I don't know if that makes sense. Comment. I don't think just because a child may be an only child that they cannot learn how to deal with same age. It's just more difficult and equally difficult for the parent to show that child. Now, that's not to say that they don't go outside of the house and they're not socialized and things like that. There are plenty of things that you can do with a child to teach them those things. Story time most of the time they are together. Yeah, yeah. We used to do the library a lot. And yeah, most of the time it's my kids together. They do have kids outside, but I'm still using my judgment because the other people kids. I'm the type that yeah, it's other people's kids. I'm not judging anybody, but everybody does not raise their kids the same. Everybody is not the same. I mean, other kids influence other kids. I can send my kids outside and I have the neighbor's kids undoing my kids' hair, that type of thing. So I tend to not want my kids around other kids because I'm like, who does that? Do you not teach your kids not to touch other kids? You don't do that. Daily school competition. As in, before I answer that question, what are you defining as daily school competition? Hmm. for the most part, if my kids are outside, they're playing with each other because the kids outside are mean. They will tell me, "Oh, mom, they're mean. They were calling us babies. They um, they were just being mean. They were pushing us around." And my kids are not like that. They will play with anybody, and they know how to treat other people, other kids, and watch. Yes, yes. It's a lot of parents that are not watching and do not care whether they're, at work or they're quote unquote busy. They're not watching. I had somebody recently come and tell me that my 3-year-old hit their child, and my child is not a hitter. She's not a hitter at all. If I try to spank her, um, I don't even, that has to be last resort. Oh, thank you very much. She will tell me, won't she? You look pretty, Mom. Thank you for just saying that. She will tell me, don't hit me. How's that? Yeah. Oh, thank you. You have chalk on your face. And so it was a little out of the norm um, for that to happen. And me being the mom that I am, I had to investigate further, but he was looking for instant gratification, like, aren't you going to spank her? So you want me to spank my child because you say she hit your child because it was a younger child? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to find out why. Because if she did, she hit for a reason. And what happened was the child actually had taken her car, her ride-on car. She wanted her car back. And I have watched this other child. Thank you. The parents don't watch this. It's a baby. Don't watch him. And so they just let him outside for some reason. Thank you. And it doesn't matter what it is. If my kids have a snack, if my kids have toys, he's running to take it. And she was lashing out because of that. Not because she was just not knowing how to act. You need paper? Here. Is that my paper? Wait a minute. That's my paper. I thought I had taken all of my paper. Because you guys get into my good paper. Here. There you go. Interaction with other students. Good. Development, interaction with your other students, good and bad experiences. What is going to the restroom? Okay, so that means I'm gonna be getting up in just a minute to help her. Any good parent is going to teach their child how to deal with different situations, whether there are a child, um, that has siblings or an only child. The only reason the parent would not teach that child how to push through and deal with other people is if they don't know how to. And there are plenty of things children learn even without parental guidance. Okay, children are very smart and they're very resilient. There are plenty of children that are raising themselves, and not only raising themselves, they're raising siblings. So they learn. I don't see this day and age any child not learning basic survival skills, especially with all the technology. Mhm. Yeah. And I did in that situation. I explained to her, um, what she did was wrong. That she should not have hit. She knew. She already knew it was wrong. But she explained to me, he had my car and I wanted my car back. And she didn't know how to because she saw the parent standing there. She thought that parent would step in and take that role, and that parent didn't do that. Let me go through this. Did they know? No. Exactly. You teach a lot of things to children, and they may not experience it. But for me, I try to find the teachable moments in everything that I can. And it may not happen immediately. Maybe something that happens years down the road. And I direct them back to remember when such and such happened. Are you finished? As far as handling mean people, that's just something that, we're going to encounter people every day that we don't like. People are not, everybody's not the same, and that's just life, and you just have to get over it, or you're just going to be secluded. People they need interaction. So are you saying because the child is homeschooled, they're not having interaction with any others? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Herd animal. You hold that thought. I'll be right back. Apparently, you're not interacting with others your age. Be talking like this. Come on, let me help you out. Real quick. All right, I see where this is going. Um, hmm, apparently, because they have no interaction. Children their age, they're herd animals. Yeah, I just have to pray for them and keep moving. You made a kite. Um, I think the smallest child. It's one of those things that you have to have your eyes open to see that they know how to handle things properly. From them confessing, I took 2 cookies when you said I could have one. Um, they will get there, and for kids in general, learning things like that, it's a developmental process as well. Some kids get it right off. Some kids don't get it at all. I'm still reading, understanding spiritual aspects. That's what a child is being made. And, and not every child will know that. So you just have to teach the child that not everybody's raised the same way. Not everybody um, beliefs are the same. You know what may be wrong in one house may be just fine in another. And so I try the best I can, like I know many parents do, to not um, raise their kids around children that um, are not from a good background, because ultimately what they do, their spirit will reflect on your own children. It's the same as me. The company that I keep, the people I talk to, I'm very cautious about who I talk to and what I tell. And some kids, they don't know right from wrong, and that's just because the parents don't know right from wrong. Like that parent that came over here, he couldn't have been any more than late 20s, and I just really wanted to look at him and say, dude, I'm old enough to be your mother. Have some respect. Don't come banging on my door like whatever. And he was just mobbing, just like it was something serious. And I'm not trying to chuck the situation or say it wasn't serious because, any child hitting or fighting or whatever, that's not good. Bullying, we don't tolerate that. But his attitude said a whole lot. And I just kind of, you know, gave him that side eye like, okay, I've heard you all's discipline. When I say that, that baby, it's a 1 year old, I've heard that child getting beat over, I mean, the child shouldn't be getting beat, period, but actually beat. And I just thought, man, you know, it's one of those things where you just want to knock on the door, just as PQ to let that parent know. But ignorance, pure ignorance. Parents not knowing how to parent. So, um, yeah, I find, just the little things throughout the day, uh, because the kids do have somebody here. A lot of things that I teach them about dealing with other people, they learn, through watching everybody else. One of the kids is having a meltdown. They'll come to me and say, so and so was not using self control because they did X, Y, Z, and now they're screaming out of control. They know, you know, just catch those times and say, yeah, there was very good judgment on your part. You recognize that. And a lot of times the other child will hear and they recognize not that one is telling on them, because obviously the whole house knows what's going on, but they recognize the compassion, the concern. I heard beating like that also. Yeah. hmm Yeah, it's crazy. It's so crazy. And you never know. I don't care, what it is the child is doing or has done. Um, there should not be a cause to react like that. That's not being proactive at all. My kids, I'm not saying my kids are perfect angels. They do things that, yeah, and it just, I have to take a step back and walk away before I do anything. I don't react. I just walk away. They know when I walk away, and when they don't recognize that, I let them know. Give me a few minutes. I will deal with you in just a minute. Because in the heat of the moment, you may say something or you may do something that you can never take back. Now, if it's something that they're doing and it's dangerous, of course I'm going to stop and reprimand them on the spot. But 9 times out of 10, they're not doing anything dangerous. I actually cause them to work. Yeah, yeah. A lot of times it just takes somebody, just to knock on the door so that they know that somebody can hear. one of those you have to use your best judgment for and go from there. But like I said, in that case, it was more, I'm just watching. To be honest, I'm watching because I really think it is a CPS case, but I'm just watching. Yeah, I don't want to react right away when there's really not that cause. I can see the poor parenting. I can see that. It's just straight up. I can see it. And it's one of those where I'm not going to make it my business because I can see it. I'm not turning, a deaf ear, blind eye at the same time, but it's kind of not my business. But yeah, if you're coming to my door and acting the same way, that's my business. When it involves my child, because basically this person was telling me I wanted to do something to your child. He flat out said that, and I'm like, that's my child. That's a 3-year old. Are you serious? But when I see what's going on in your house, I believe him. It's one of those, I wish you would. What are you doing? What's the matter? You got your shoes. You wanna get a chair? Go get a chair. No. Mm-mm. You have animal crackers. She did. She is always giving back something. Always, always. Spoiling. Mm-hmm. Alright. So, uh-oh. Get this other shoe on. Yeah. Put your foot in your shoe. Are you trying to see yourself? I don't. I don't think you can. You're not even by the camera. You have to sit on my lap if you want to see yourself. My daughter would play music for the child to prepare from the shopping. Yeah, that's a good one. Like I said, a lot of times it just takes for that person to recognize that somebody else can hear. Yeah. And like I said, of course, you're going to use your better judgment if it's clearly some abuse. Then don't wait. If it's something that's happening on a daily basis and you observe it, you want to report things like that and not feel bad. Those are things that wouldn't sit good with me. I couldn't even sleep. Yeah. And clearly, like I said, if it's something that's reoccurring, that's something that needs to be reported. And it's sad if you don't know, you may know your neighbors, but you never know, the people next door. You may never know what's really going on. I myself have had to deal with certain situations that, just made me uncomfortable, but it also made me uncomfortable knowing what was going on and not doing anything. So, yeah, especially when it comes to a child, you don't want to let anything like that go on. But, hmm, wanted to ask you all, what do you think about neighbors? There's a difference between discipline and abuse. Yes, definitely. 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 Abuse is often violent. Sometimes abuse is also silent. You just have to keep your eyes open. I'm always paying attention to things. Always, always. I know this day and age, a lot of times people don't want to get involved. They're turning their heads, but at the same time, I think you need to be aware of what's going on. Children need discipline. Yes, they do. They do need discipline. Yes, and a lot of times they're not getting disciplined. It's because the parents are not around. Excuse me. The parents are not raising their children. They have become a friend to their child sometimes, and they they cannot get get out of friend mode and get back to mom mode because that child has discerned the same way I was talking about, going between a homeschooling mom and teacher. Hi, thank you for joining us. Teens today, and I'm telling you, I have, let's see, three that are classified as teens. These teens today are what we call off the chain. And I'm one that, when they were little, I had to sit and think about all sorts of scenarios because I didn't want to put anything past my kids. I knew how I was raising my kids. I had a certain moral and standard and way I wanted to bring them up and things I wanted to teach them and things like that. But they are exposed to other children. Um, the children outside are not my children, so I can't raise those children. They're going to be influenced by other children, and so yeah, that discipline I had to. Line that up very early. And I'm not saying make them fearful, but you have to put the fear in them. Because, man, especially if you have a couple of, two, three teenagers at a time, yeah, that can drive you to the loony bin real fast. Mm-hmm. Yep. Grow up serving the Lord. Yes. Always be accountable for your actions. Yeah, that's what I tell my kids. And anything they do, no matter what I teach them, you know that spirit is with you, whether you want to accept it or not. And you are the one at the end of the day that has to face. And so, today I get some of those things that I have taught the kids, whether I see that they actually, completely understood or not, they are giving it back to me. I'm glad when we did X, Y, Z, when you told me about X, Y, and Z, because now I see. Excuse me. Hmm, go back to what we were talking about. Yeah, we cannot, um, we don't always know, about why people do things they do, why kids act the way they act. We don't always know that. Some kids are from a good home and just, rebel. They just flat out rebel. I think that comes with, teaching children that as long as you are doing you, being the best you, being in the best environment that you can be in, keep yourself out of trouble. That's what I always tell my kids. Keep yourself out of trouble, out of harm's way, and don't worry about anybody else. Of course, there are instances when children, even adults, are going to get caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's just a given. We cannot predict that. But if you are doing what you need to do on the up and up, don't worry about the next child. I believe my prayers are helping. Wow. Yeah, it is very hard to it's very hard to report abuse and get a reaction. A lot of people, I mean, you can do it. Anybody can report it, but does not mean it's going to spark an investigation that the way it should be. And a lot of times people think, I hear it a lot on YouTube videos I see, oh, so and so called CPS on me. Um, I don't know, it's common in a lot of big bloggers. Their haters will watch their videos just to find little negative things to nitpick, that something that the child did or something they felt that they did to the child was wrong. Oh, I'm calling CPS on certain, blogger, that type of thing. Nothing ever happens. There's a certain protocol, and there are certain things that you can say that will get a reaction. I know because I have done it several times. It's the simplest things. It's not the things that people are calling for. Um, if anybody ever had that idea, oh, I don't like her. I know I have people that, for whatever reason, and if they see something I'm doing, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work at all because having a behavior challenge child, the system is already here. I don't have that issue because in my phone are their numbers. I call them. That's how that works. So nobody can. That does not faze me one bit. If anybody else does come, guess what? I tell them, okay, wait a minute. Who do you want to call? Let's call such and such. Here's the number. Because you didn't do your homework before you came. And I keep the numbers in my phone because I know how to deal with those issues. Because they don't like you, and that's they need to. Yeah, they do need to know the law. Yeah, some people are just ill spirited and they're just, malicious intent, and it just doesn't get anywhere. But anytime a child is involved in, that there's a danger, you know, you should not hesitate, no matter how good that parent or how well you think, um, the parent is a good parent. That could be the call that could save that child, or that could be the call that could save that family. Another thing people don't know about CPS is CPS is not the enemy. CPS helps. They help more than anything. But if you don't know that, if you're looking at them like the enemy, then yeah, you won't get anywhere. But they help. So again, that's what's in my phone because I know they help and I know how they can help. A lot of times for us, they can help when nobody else can. And I would tell them, they will say, "Oh, I'm going to call this person." I say, "You know what? I don't know why they haven't been called already. It shouldn't take me to get on the phone and call them." Now, who does that? Who do you know will call CPS on themselves? Yeah, sometimes. But I'm just saying in my situation, um, I have to get like that. But yeah, they get to where they don't understand. They need to call for help. I've had cases where um, CPS come in and they don't even know what to do. They don't know how to help. Oh yeah, when you get people just calling to lie, and then you get the ones that come and they don't even know how to help. That's the sad part because those are the children that end up um, constantly abused. You hear about them on the news later on, and it's like when they say, "Well, where were the neighbors? Why didn't the neighbors say anything?" So yeah, let's say use your discernment if you are in a situation like that. That is definitely going to sit with me, knowing that you all are praying for a child. What was I going to say? I asked about neighbors. If you have a neighbor that gives your child things, how do you feel about that? What do you think about that? I'm talking about an adult neighbor. Do you see it as a good thing, as a bad thing? How do you react to that? What would make you what would make you react? Yeah, take my child to the money. Oh, poor thing. Do you see it as do you see it as harmful, or do you just see it as a neighbor being friendly? What is too friendly? Not necessarily gifts, but candy, cookies, ice cream, little treats like that. What would you make of that? Mhm. No, I was just saying that because you just, you saw my little one come in with animal crackers, and I don't know. I'm raised very old school, um, just by older parent. But first, I wasn't raised by my mom. I was raised by, yeah, this is a good point. I was raised by a stranger. She was an older lady. So, some, not saying it negative, but, the little old lady next door, giving your kids goodies and things like that. This is harmless. Um, but I was raised by a complete stranger, so I kind of see things in a different way. I'm getting ready to get back to this comment, your comment, Claudine, in just a minute. Um, I see things in a different way. Yeah, and I didn't share the story of who I was raised by. I haven't really shared that, but I'm not sure if you guys want to know that. Maybe one day if somebody asks, um, I'll tell you what happened. But I have a neighbor that gives my kids stuff, and she only gives my kids stuff, even though they're. Well, no, you know what? I take that back. She will give the other kids things, but it's mostly my kids. And we know her, but not. I mean, she's still a stranger. We're not really good friends. We just happen to be neighbors, and her and her husband don't have any kids. And she's not older; she's actually younger than me. But very nice, very quiet. They don't bother anybody. Does she ask any questions? No. And I see, yeah, and see that's where I had to start using my judgment because it was a every now and then thing, and then it became more and more that she's giving and more, I guess, more things. So immediately in my head, my mom brain goes into overload because that signals when a person starts to get really friendly with a child and they build that trust up within that child, that rapport, that pedophile behavior, kidnapper behavior, you know? So I have to side eye that. I'm always watching the kids. Sometimes they are outside by themselves. I can see them, but yeah, that always is in my head. What is her motive? And see, that's what I said. She's not a mother. She doesn't have any kids. She's like the little old lady next door. I'm trying to. In fact, I know her through another neighbor, and they're actually relatives. So she introduced me and said, "This is my sister-in-law." So I'm kind of yeah, I'm kind of thinking it's harmless, but also in my head as a mom, I have to be on guard. When you're going to, she'll go get herself lunch. She'll bring my kids lunch. They're getting kids meals, that type of thing. See, that's the kind of stuff that I would do for other kids. I used to do that a lot for other kids. Or, I would take my kids as friends with us to the mall. We're going to Build a Bear or whatever, and I'm buying them, the stuff. And I know for them, it would kind of shock them to see that somebody will go out of the way, especially if it wasn't the child's birthday or something. You know, you bought this for my child. Some people are just they're not used to that. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. It's because yeah, but at the same time, I'm teaching the kids. If I do have to come in the house for, whatever, and they need to be aware of what's going outside. Everybody needs to be within sight. Nobody leaves anybody outside. That type of thing. Everybody has a partner, and that's pretty much happens with everybody. If I'm not, my neighbors are watching the kids, and it's to the point where they'll say, you know what, I saw them by so and so, and I told them to come back, and so they know, that if I'm not directly watching them, they're not in my direct line of sight. I could be on the porch, but if they can't see me, somebody else is watching them. They'll come and tell me, or I will go ask my neighbors, and the kids know that. So, yeah. No, I was just wondering, some people will immediately say, no, I wouldn't let them, give my kids anything, or, they have to get my permission first. That is typically how I am. My kids will come and show me, they will come and tell me before they open it, just to make sure. And I'm the type of parent that if I'm going to give the child something, I'm not going to give it to them. I'm going to go and tell them, ask their mom first if they can have it, or I'm going directly to the parent and say, hey, can they have so and so? And I've taught my children that don't accept something if somebody gives it to you. And I know it's kind of, in this person's case, she doesn't have kids, so she doesn't really understand that you may be giving the child something that they're allergic to. So it's a good idea. But I do go and talk with her and let her know that, um, I appreciate what she's doing. And I tell her if it's, too much, or, when they can have certain things. And she will tell them, as well. I'm not going to give you XYZ because that's not good for you. Excuse me. That is how, yes, that is how it used to be. Everybody watched out for everybody's kids. Nowadays, you can't do that because it's, you're telling my kids what to do, and you can't do this, and um, you're not my mom, and yeah. At the same time, we had some out, my neighbor and I heard her talking one day to a couple of kids. She was reprimanding a couple of kids, some teenagers. And I was on the porch, and my kids were not, they were past her house, which is still not that far, but I couldn't really see them. But when I heard her, I wanted to make sure she wasn't talking to any of my kids. And so she saw me looking, and I went in. Actually went to the door, and I asked her. I said, "I heard what you were saying. I just wanted to be sure it wasn't any of my kids you were talking to, meaning the little ones or the big ones." And she said, "Mm-mm, it was the ones next door." And I asked her what they were doing. Teenagers groping each other, and I heard the language. That's what I knew she was getting on them about, but I couldn't see what they were doing. She said, yeah, they were, the girl was letting the boy grab between her legs. And I just thought, my gosh, how, yeah. I'm glad. She said, no, your kids are fine, but what made me, because they're in front of my door, your kids are right here. That's why I stepped out, because her door was open. And she said, that's why I stepped out. Wow. And, she told them to go on their porch, go in their house and do that. Don't do that outside. And as we continued to talk, the mother came outside and stood and looked at us. It wasn't a malicious look. She just looked and said nothing. And I just thought, can you at least acknowledge that you are not watching these kids, even though they're teenagers, that you are apologizing, have some concern, for your children. I don't know, be accountable for your children's actions, and not directly, but I won't have my children in front of your house, that type of thing. But we kind of took it as, yeah, we know what the kids are doing anyways. You're not doing anything with them. They have no respect for each other, and they don't have any respect for you. And she didn't have any respect as an adult, be adult about the situation. So, yeah, those are the types of situations where I just like to keep my kids in the house. Kids get embarrassed to see things like that. Yeah, go back down here. Okay, let me go back to the TBS with shots that I called on myself. They told me how to talk to my son and say sorry. I never know that parents told us sorry if I did. Yeah, um, I always apologize to my children if situation calls for it. When I am disciplining them, and I'm not saying I'm spanking disciplining, but if I have to reprimand them, I let them know, you know, I apologize that we're in this situation and I have to do this, but I have to do it because, obviously it's a safety factor or, it involves somebody else. Their feelings are being compromised. And that's basically when I teach the children to apologize. They don't just come and say, I'm sorry. And it's usually a 3 or 4 step apology, and both parties involved have some sort of communication. It's not just, I'm sorry, okay, because a lot of times the other person, the other child will stand there and look like, or they're crying, and sorry does not fix everything. And they know, they say that all the time. Sorry doesn't fix it. I apologize. I won't do it again. I didn't realize that this would affect you in this way. What happened? Do you accept my apology? And they know that the other child can either accept or not. But at the same time, the child that was wrong is not doing it in a malicious way. And they're not, oh, I'm just not going to accept your apology. take some time out and reflect, and maybe later on you guys can get together and talk about it. Usually in 5 minutes they're friends again anyway. Problem solved. Um, yeah, I always try to go in and apologize for my actions. I know as adults we oftentimes neglect that because we kind of take it for granted that they know, but no, that's not always the case. Especially with my older son, he is really quick. If I were in a situation like that and I was actually wrong and I don't apologize, he will call me out in a minute. So, and to me, I don't feel he's out of line or um, I'm bad, but that makes me see that I have been raising him well. The same holds true for um, for adults. I will if I feel that I have wronged somebody. Sometimes I just know in my heart I will apologize, and it's a sincere apology. They may even see my apology as not necessary. They might not even recognize that maybe whatever the issue was an issue until I bring it to the forefront. Yeah, I had to apologize to somebody last night. Something was on my heart heavy, and I had to apologize. Can I have a thumbtack on that board? Yeah, yeah. Here, and yeah, I know they did not expect it, but it was just something on my heart. I could not sleep, and yeah, and I didn't. There were some other conversations along with it that I really was not trying to engage in at the moment. In fact, we're still waiting for my response, but not because I was just doing it begrudgingly. I was sincere with the apology, and it was no long drawn out why I did what I did or said what I said, because it's one of those situations where you say things without thinking, and you already said it. You can't take it back anyway. There's no why. Yeah, I remember my mom. She would talk to me about my. Yeah, yeah. When your kids can recognize, when your kids can recognize, and they call you out on things, yeah, that's when you know that you are doing your job indeed. And even, not some kids have the discernment. Never have. Okay, that's what I thought you meant. Some kids have the discernment on their own. Yeah, they just know. What are you guys in there doing? Hold on 1 second. I hear something that's making me suspicious. Run your hand under the water. Here. I'm gonna see if I can get it. I should be able to get it. So that means you were somewhere where you shouldn't have been. Someone has a splinter in their hand. Come here. Come here. Let me see your hand. Guess he's not coming. You want me to help you get the splinter out? Let me see your hand. It's gonna hurt if it stays in your hand. So do you want it to hurt in your hand or do you want it to hurt coming out? Okay. Well, let me just look at it first because it looks like it's kind of deep. I'm just looking at it. He said, "Ow." I'm probably gonna have to do this after I get off because you have pushed. Move your hand. Oh, wait a minute. Here's the tail. I was gonna say you pushed the tail inside of your skin. If I can get it like that. Hold on. Move your hand. If I can. Ow. Layla, move your head back. Okay. I thought this was gonna be quick, but because it's move your head back. It's in there. I might have to move your head back. Clip it. Ow. Let me see. I might have to clip the skin just to get to it. Because what happened is it went in your skin, so it's underneath your skin. So can you just hold on for a little bit? Now I see why you wanted the thumbtack. So it is not really sticking out, even though it's not really deep. I couldn't just grab the end of it and pull it out with the tweezers. Are you ready? Are you ready? George Washington. You trying to show everybody what you're reading? I'm gonna hold it up like that. Hold it like that. He's reading George Washington Loved His Country. So, anywho, what is everybody having for dinner today? Oh, you're reading. Wow. This is a rare moment. I know you guys can't see her, but she is my reluctant reader and she's reading. You want to read a little louder?
Young George was loved to sail the what is like what is this?
Please. Oh, that sounds delicious. I have not fried any chicken in a while. I have any chicken. I don't have any meat.
To ride the horse.
Mm,
Young George Washington loved to
love to dance.
dance at a ball. But what what
When?
when George Washington grew up, he loved his country
Say it. Most.
most of all.
Hooray. Give me a high five. Good job. You are a great reader. So, yeah, that's a big step for her. That's why you guys don't see her reading because she doesn't like to be in front of the camera. And my son is like that too. He's a little more willing sometimes. I caught him. In fact, both of them were reading, and the first thing when they saw me, my son was like, "Don't vlog it," and I said, "I'm not." But I hurried up and snapped a picture, and I did the same thing to her. Asked, what is her name? Come here. Tell them your name.
Layla.
Layla. So yeah, they don't always. They don't always want to be filmed. I have to ask them, is it okay? Because sometimes it's not. And I've, been trying to talk to them about doing a live homeschool day. I'll say day, but you guys know, probably a few minutes. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how true to life that would be, and I can't schedule it. That's the thing. Some days I just want to, come live randomly and just share. And so all I can say is kind of look out because that's just going to happen, like that. This is going to be a natural thing. I'm not going to stage anything. I'm just going to turn on the camera so that you guys can get a feel for what's going on. Yes. Can you hold on a minute though? Or you can read it to yourself. Read it quietly. Is that a good idea?
Yeah.
Okay. Read it quietly. Yeah, talk on your face. So, yeah, I do. I have been thinking about that. I don't know, even live is kind of like a circus. And to me, it's a little, I don't know, when I vlog, it's more live than anything because, the vlogs are not edited. So that's as live as it gets. But I have talked to them. Mix it up. Yeah, I've talked to them. They know the difference between me being live. They know I can't stop the camera. I can just, you know, close out the chat and they know, when we're vlogging, I can turn off the camera. Ooh, that dinner is making me sound good. Mashed potatoes, lemon chicken, and veggies. Oh, you guys and that chicken. Yes, ma'am.
What's the word put
Pork.
or
Yeah, we have no meat.
the
I forgot. I have a meal plan somewhere. I have some stuff written down. But it's something easy.
or
I forgot what I was going to cook
the
for dinner tonight. Chicken is, yeah, it is. But you know what? I have somebody that we can go with meat or without, but I have somebody that does not like meat. Layla, do you like meat?
yeah
What kind of meat? You do?
yeah
All the time?
yeah
Really?
yeah.
Okay. That girl just put on a show. We had flour tacos. What did you put in your tacos instead of meat?
Um, rice.
Rice. So she put everything in her taco except the meat. She's the one that 9 times out of 10 will go without the meat. It just depends. Chicken would have to be a once a week thing and not a whole lot of chicken.
Put rice and salsa in
Rice and salsa in it and lettuce. Yeah. So, we don't do too much.
mix it up. Mix
A
it
couple times a
up.
month, we'll actually have something with meat. But I don't think, I said I don't. I have a roast in the freezer because I bought two last month and I only used one. And, yeah, sound it out.
And
Yeah. So,
the
um,
eggs and the
yeah, I will cross that Lennon Bridge when we get there. They had spaghetti. Oh, you know what? Maybe that's why I was not thinking. Layla, what? Mexico. Sound it out. Yeah, they have
mix
spaghetti left, so that may be dinner.
mix
Yeah.
it up.
We
Mix it
like the
up.
real you, mini you, chocolate chips and banana banana raw too.
And
Yeah, that's everybody wants to see glitz and glam,
the
and there are plenty of people,
the
that
the
are doing that. So I don't feel bad if somebody's not watching me. They want to see glitz and glam.
Mom,
Butter.
butter
But
and the
yeah, I
butter.
like to see you know, the real stuff, stuff that we don't talk about. Like this, a lot of people will not, lean in on this discipline, and even here we didn't go too far in it, and it's one of those topics that it's very sensitive, and everybody's going to have their different point of view. You are wanting my attention, aren't you? Okay, so my next live stream will be looking at my calendar on we're switching months here on the 9th, which is Thursday. No, on the 2nd. I'm on the wrong week. On the 2nd, March is. So I'm probably going to aim for mid afternoon because I know this week is going to be kind of busy. I anticipate things with my son. I'm going to have a lot of phone calls and things I need to check out. So I don't think morning is going to work this week. But yeah. So Thursday, we'll be back Thursday, and probably around 3, 4 o'clock ish before dinner time. And because with all the interruptions, I see a book, and that's going to disturb our routine a little bit, and we won't get as much done school wise if I have to stop and stream. Okay, shalom, and thank you for joining. So I am getting ready to spend some time.
Muffin.
You want some muffins? Okay. With this little one here and get in the kitchen. I think I plan to, I don't want to say what I'm saying here, but I have planned to bake a cake. Yeah, I think that's what was on my mind. So I think I might go do that. Don't see what you just did. Don't do that because then you make it screen black. Then nobody can see us. So, anywho, um, yeah, Thursday will be my next chat day. I don't know what they're doing out there. But for those of you that came in late, you can go back in and watch the video and just catch the front end of what I was talking about. Being mom and being homeschool teacher. Being homeschool mom. I'm more apt to say I am homeschool teacher than homeschool mom. I know that is our title in the community, but take ownership in being homeschool teacher and define the two. And your spirit will definitely improve in your school day, and as well as the children's spirit. In fact, the whole family, in general. And talk to your friends. If your friends are good friends, they're going to understand. Yeah, she was playing with the screen. But yeah, talk to your friends. Define that time. Talk to your husband, your partner, your whoever, and define that time. You are a teacher, and the teachers do this. Teachers run errands on their lunch break. Teachers do a lot. Teachers bring things home from school. They work after hours. So that's where all that tears, sweat, and blood come in. You really have to be selfless because you are a teacher. Mom can stop schooling anytime, and a teacher cannot. All right. So you all enjoy your day, enjoy your dinner, enjoy your family, and the rest of your week. And I will see you all on Thursday. And if not, um, hopefully you will watch the videos going up during the week. And I'm always on Instagram at some point in the day. Until next time, say bye bye.
Bye.
Peace out. And shalom.